James Murphy here with Boston Shamrocks, and I am joined now by the longtime academic coordinator, Hannah Irving. Hannah, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
This is now your 5th year with the program here. You have the most seniority from what we were just saying off camera?
I think I do, yes.
Wow, not bad, not bad. So let's go back to when you started here and what attracted you to taking on this position here with the Boston Shamrocks. I guess give us a little background of what made you want to teach and got you into education.
Sure. Education is really important to me. And when I started privately tutoring after college, most of the students that I worked with were athletes. So when I came across this opportunity to work for the Shamrocks as the math and science tutor, it instantly grabbed my attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, it was such a great opportunity to work with this group of girls who is so, dedicated to their athletics, but obviously needed to keep, education at the forefront as well.
Had you done that as an intern at all in college?
No, I didn't. I really, prior to graduating, I really thought that I was going to go in the research direction. My degree is in biology. And it was, only after sort of trying that and deciding that it wasn't for me that I really started to, further explore the educational side of things.
And for our viewers here, you went to Franklin Pierce, correct?
I did, yeah.
All right. So you get here and you start to get a feel for the landscape here. If you go back to when you first started working, maybe even if you have a memory of a student that made you know you were in the right spot here with the Shamrocks, walk us through that.
I mean, one of the things that I love about working for the team is that we do have a different group of girls coming in, each season, and it gives me the opportunity, to get to know another group of girls and their strengths and their weaknesses, and to figure out, how I can be of the utmost help to each girl individually. And I just, I really enjoy, being able to, see things, particularly in math, where, I have a student that's like, I just don't get it, I just don't get it, I just don't get it, and then that light bulb goes off. It's really rewarding, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
And we were talking earlier today off camera. I was asking you, how do you handle it when you have a student that maybe is either struggling or on the flip side, it just seemed disinterested, and you discussed sort of your approach to that. Why don't you let our viewers know?
Right, so, particularly for our girls who are online students, that transition can be a difficult one. So more often than not, we'll see those struggles come through right at the beginning of the season as, these girls are getting started in their, online high school career. And, what I try and do to help them is just offer as much support as possible. So I have a staff of tutors who works for the team, so, providing additional support in that way, or some additional time with me, or, anything we can that's going to help them, develop their understanding of any given material in order to be successful.
Do you ever run across situations too, and I want to know how you handle it, if so, when maybe one of the girls is distracted because she's struggling on the ice and she's going through a scoring slump, or if it's a goalie, she had a rough game, and if it ever trickles into the education side or the life side, have you had to deal with that, and how did you approach that?
Sure, I mean, that certainly happens. The girls are here to play hockey, and that's, sort of what's most important in their mind. I do try and stress the fact that, being, with us for school for the day can sort of be a break from that.
Right.
And an opportunity to sort of, leave whatever happened on the ice behind them and, just sort of take a step away from that and, put their attention and their efforts into their schoolwork. And hoping that, that might actually provide them with an opportunity to, do some better work on the ice that afternoon.
And obviously the girls that are here, their aspirations are to go on and play college hockey somewhere, but also to get a college education. I know you're sort of the conduit between them and that next step in their life.
Right.
How's that been for you, playing that role?
Right. Well, particularly for these female athletes, like it really is, most of them are trying to get Division I scholarships, and really the only way to do that is not only to have, the hockey skills, obviously, but also to have, the grades and the standardized test scores. So I try and stress that to both parents and players, the importance of education as they move forward, and being able to help them, with their college applications and with their standardized test prep tutoring, and really just, our goal here is to, provide all of our players with, every opportunity to succeed. And, there are a number of ways we try and do that. One of them is through tutoring and also, any other support that I can provide them with.
I know that one of the things nobody looks forward to when they're applying for colleges is the SATs or any standardized testing.
Right.
But I imagine that's something that you're here to help sort of calm the nerves and help them stay focused as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I find, to try and sort of take that boogeyman effect out of this stuff is, just to be talking about it. So of the players who I know who are coming, starting this season, I'm already talking to them and their parents about standardized testing. I'm already talking to them about our standardized test prep tutor. And we do offer the girls a number of prep sessions leading up to both the SAT and ACT, which helps lessen some anxiety going into that.
And on that note too, you mentioned the parents there, parents of incoming players or players that are contemplating coming here playing for the Shamrocks, in terms of what you want to do to be there for them, and not just their daughters, but for them too, and knowing that they have somebody to check in with and know how their daughters are doing.
Right, absolutely. I mean, I have regular communication with almost all of our parents. As you and I sort of spoke earlier, I keep really close tabs on the girls' progress and grades throughout the season, and that information is all shared with parents so that our coaching staff is aware of how the girls are doing academically, and parents are also aware of that information, so that if they feel their daughter might need some additional support and hasn't been able to speak up for herself, or I haven't been able to find that for myself, then the parents can be an advocate for their daughter as well.
That's great. And then finally, it is the off season right now, and people may think that maybe your schedule winds down a bit, but it really doesn't. I mean, I saw you upstairs putting together sessions for next season. You were talking about December already, and we're only in May here as we record this. So what does that off season consist of for you?
Right, there's always more work to do. So as new players are recruited, I introduce myself to the families and sort of help them figure out, what academic options are available to them when their daughter comes to play for the Shamrocks. And then helping them, sort of figure out which option is going to be best for their daughter, and helping them, with the next steps, whether that's enrolling at an online school, or figuring out what sort of standardized test prep they're going to need in the coming season. There's any number of things to be doing during this time of the year.
Well, we will let you get back to work, and we appreciate you coming on.
Awesome, thanks so much.
All right, thanks. That's Hannah Irving, our academic coordinator here, and I am James Murphy.